Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Iraqi Dinar News channel. Today's update is one you do not want to miss because something unusual and potentially historic happened this morning, right at exactly 9 a.m. Iraq time. If you've been following the Iraqi dinar journey, you know that rumors are common, but today's buzz feels different. Messages have been flying in from all directions, phones are lighting up, and people are jumping online to find out what's going on. The big question: did we just see the first sign of a brand new rate for the Iraqi dinar? Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, remember this is not an official confirmation. But the sheer amount of chatter, screenshots, and eyewitness claims pouring in since sunrise is something we haven't seen in a long time. Whether you hold dinar, follow this for investment news, or just enjoy watching big financial events unfold, you're going to want to hear every detail of what happened this morning. It all started just as the streets of Iraq were waking up. Shops opening, markets preparing for the day, and people heading off to work. At that exact time, 9 a.m. local time, word began spreading that something major might be in motion. Unlike the vague "sometime this week" rumors we've heard before, this one came with a very specific hour attached to it. That alone got the community buzzing. When you give an exact time, it creates anticipation, almost like waiting for the ball to drop on New Year's Eve. Many believe this timing was no accident. Morning announcements give banks and markets the entire business day to adjust, process transactions, and let the news ripple through. And with Iraq's markets and financial systems deeply connected to regional and global trade, choosing this moment makes perfect strategic sense. If a new rate was in play, the morning would be the ideal time to let it go live. Reports began circulating almost immediately after that 9 a.m. mark. Some claimed that bank screens inside Iraq started showing new numbers. Others said friends or relatives in the country noticed changes when they inquired about exchange rates at their local branches. Still, others mentioned exchange boards displaying slightly different figures compared to the day before. While it's true we cannot verify each and every claim, the sheer number of separate accounts, all pointing to the same time frame, is hard to ignore. It's not often that the dinar community worldwide starts talking about the same thing at the same time, and that's exactly what made this morning different. It wasn't just random whispers. It was a coordinated wave of conversation that left many people wondering if we had just witnessed the first stage of something much bigger. In the background, we have been hearing about unusual activity at Iraq's central bank in recent days. Late-night work sessions, tightened security, and a possible final round of system checks have all been part of the speculation. The central bank is the powerhouse behind any official currency change. They control the exchange rate, manage foreign reserves, and work directly with international banking networks like Forex to make sure Iraq's currency flows smoothly in global markets. Something was truly being prepared for a morning reveal. Every part of that financial machine would have needed to be perfectly aligned both inside Iraq and internationally. That would mean careful coordination, agreements with foreign banks, and even quiet approvals from trading platforms to ensure a smooth transition without causing chaos. For the people living inside Iraq, a rate change is not just about investment returns, it's about everyday life. A stronger dinar could mean lower prices in shops, improved salaries, and better savings value for families. It could make imports cheaper, boost local buying power, and strengthen the country's position in international trade. That's why, if today was indeed a turning point, its impact would reach far beyond just the investor community overseas. Imagine waking up and finding that your paycheck, your rent, and your grocery bill are suddenly measured in a currency that's worth more than it was yesterday. That's not just financial news, that's life-changing for millions of people now. For those holding dinar outside of Iraq, the focus is clear. What does this mean for their investment? Some are hoping for a dramatic revaluation that could turn years of patience into a once-in-a-lifetime financial moment. Others are taking a more cautious view, saying that even a small upward movement is a major signal that the country is on the right track. That's because in currency markets, big shifts are often preceded by smaller, steady gains. A modest increase today could open the door for further adjustments in the weeks or months ahead. And for many, just getting official proof of any positive change would be enough to boost confidence and keep them holding on for the long term. Adding to the speculation, there have been scattered claims of updates appearing in the internal systems of some international banks, not just in Iraq. If true, that would suggest a change that's not limited to one country, but coordinated across borders. This kind of move would make sense. When a currency like the dinar changes value, traders, investors, and banks everywhere need to be working with the same numbers to avoid confusion or financial mismatches. That's why many believe that when Iraq finally makes this move official, it will happen in a synchronized way so that every major financial institution gets the update at the same moment. Of course, we have to be honest, this community has been here before. We've had moments of intense excitement, only to see things stay quiet for longer than expected. But today feels different because of how precise the rumor was. Specific hours are rare in this conversation. Usually, it's a vague soon, or by the end of the month. Having a clock time makes it feel more like a planned event than a loose rumor. And even though we don't yet have a confirmed public rate change, the way people are reacting tells us this morning had a very different energy from a typical day. So, what exactly changed today? Early Monday morning, reports came in from Baghdad that the dollar exchange rate had shifted again. The new figure, $100 trading for 138,750 Iraqi dinars. That works out to about 1,387.5 dinars for a single US dollar. To someone unfamiliar with currency trading, this might not sound like a big deal. But for those of us watching the dinar closely, it's a movement in the right direction. Just weeks ago, the rate was sitting much higher, closer to 1,450 dinars per dollar. The drop to 1,387.5 means the dinar is strengthening, even if slowly. Why does this matter? Because in currency markets, small moves can signal the start of a larger trend. A shift of even a few points in a major exchange rate can mean that behind the scenes, bigger plans are already in motion. This isn't a full-blown revaluation, but it could be the first public sign that Iraq's financial leadership is preparing for one. Think of it like a test run, making sure the systems can handle an update, watching how markets respond, and ensuring that banks and traders adjust smoothly before rolling out a more significant change. Some observers believe that what we saw today might be part of a phased rollout. In other words, the rate may already be active in certain internal systems but hasn't yet been displayed publicly on all exchange boards or forex feeds. This would allow the central bank to catch any technical glitches before going fully public, which could help avoid confusion and panic in the markets. It's a cautious but smart strategy if the goal is to maintain stability during a major transition inside Iraq. This kind of change has an immediate effect on business owners and traders. As soon as a rate change is confirmed, they start adjusting prices, recalculating contracts, and reevaluating supply deals. Every transaction from wholesale imports to small retail sales gets impacted by the value of the currency. And for import-heavy economies like Iraq's, even a slight strengthening of the dinar can make goods more affordable and improve profit margins for local businesses. For the global dinar community, the next few days will be critical. People will be watching for screenshots of bank rates, official statements, updates on forex platforms, and confirmation from trusted contacts inside Iraq. Social media groups and investment forums are already buzzing with speculation, analysis, and predictions. The fact that this level of conversation is happening right now shows that today's events have struck a chord with both seasoned holders and newcomers alike. So, where does this leave us? At 9 a.m. Iraq time today, something shifted. You may not have the full picture yet, But the drop in the dollar exchange rate and the surge of reports from multiple sources suggest that this could be the start of a significant move. Whether it's a small step or the first wave of a major revaluation, it's clear that momentum is building. In the currency world, timing is everything. And when you start hearing about specific hours tied to possible big changes, you're in rare territory. Stay tuned, stay informed, and keep your eyes on the updates because this story is far from over.